Mike and Devra, thank you both for being here and for joining me on this podcast. I thought we would start by you explaining to the audience what you do, the problems you solve, how it differs from the traditional. Maybe we start with that.
Mm-hmm.
That we love our business. This has been absolutely one of the most enjoyable businesses that we have started. Our business provides support for simple things like notary work, real estate closings, but our most enjoyable and most fun is we do digital fingerprinting for background checks, whether it's through the state of Nevada for all the different licensing or through the FBI for background checks to do apostilles to go internationally. So we have a really diverse offering in there. So every day is different. Our clients are spectacular. But the structure of our business is what has taken us to those spectacular clients. When we started looking at this business, we looked at what the competition was, how they were set up, how they did business. And that led us into what we have now, which is most of this industry in Las Vegas is in brick and mortar. So you're traveling usually some pretty good distance to get to these locations. The way they're set up, they're based on volume, so people are appointments and waiting in line. It's not very personal. And what we found as we started to build out this concept was that it was really confusing to the people who needed to go through this.
Because they do it so seldom, right?
Exactly, or not at all.
Or not at all.
And they don't know the whole process. And there are always questions and a need for a little bit of direction. So as we looked at that, and at that point, we didn't even have a name for the company. Once we figured out those needs, that's when we decided that we should be a concierge service. And that's when we decided that our structure should be mobile rather than brick and mortar. It allows us to engage with the client, which you really don't get in the brick and mortar environment. It allows us to have that personal touch that they're willing, they're open, they want to ask for that direction. They're not shy about it because they don't know what's going on. And so it's on us to become kind of the experts in it and give them the best possible advice that we can. But on top of that, we walk them through the process.
Which I'm sure is much appreciated by many of your clients.
It is, because then the questions and the potential for problems diminish greatly. But we also offer them on the backside where we can, if something happens, it's all electronic. Things will happen. Something might go off the rails in the process. They know that we're still there after the fact, and they know that they can contact us directly and that they'll get that quick answer, and that we'll be able to track down any difficulty that they might be experiencing in that process.
Las Vegas is such a unique environment because of the number of people who come here. They move here for a million different reasons, and because of that, the state is very, very fastidious about credentialing them. If you're in Nevada and you are in a licensed profession, from cannabis to barbering to being a key holder at a major corporation or a casino or a hotel, you are applying for an apostille to verify your identity to go because you're going to travel or get new citizenship. Those are the type of people that are going to be so much fun, because we're going to go from the factory floor this morning, where you have fellows there to get a contractor's license, to one of the hotels to do somebody who's moved here and they want they've looked around for jobs and they're not really forthcoming. So sometimes they want to, well, I'll just get into the cannabis industry. You're going to be licensed.
Okay.
Absolutely. To do that, you're going to need fingerprinting, and you're going to need Deborah's expertise as she goes through the process and she has her contacts in all the different agencies. And then we'll get in the car and go to one of the major hotels where there's an owner or a key holder or a CEO or a COO or a CIO that's going to need their background because they've come in from Florida, or they've come in from Macau, or they've come in from a million different places to become involved in our economy and our culture here.
It's a vast array of potential opportunities. One of the things I say in my own business and that I love is that not every type of thing is the same. Not every project is the same. And I feel the same from you. It's that you're not just sitting behind a counter and stamping some thing that's over and over and over. It's who are we going to meet today? What interesting scenario? And I really appreciate that. And on one of the points that you made, Deborah, and I hear it loudly, is the concierge and the, like, I don't know what the right word of saying is, the luxury way or the done for you way is, I generally have a sense that customer service in general is going down. In the world, I'm saying, like in the world. I go places and I don't have the same feeling as I once did. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the collective.
Well, the great thing about us is we're able to personalize it. I mean, we've done people after hours, in the evenings, on weekends, on tops of air conditioners, in bed, in the hospital.
Wow.
In an attorney's office, in a office setting generally. So we go anywhere. Of course, they don't know who's on the other side of the door, nor do we.
Nor do you, yeah.
And we've sat on the floor and played with the kids and the dogs and the cockatoo on the shoulder. And Deborah's talked about recipes with the people. So we kind of become part of the family. And I think the reviews that you and I talked to gave us probably the most satisfying thing ever. And that's, it was great having them come into our home to be part of us.
It speaks to the core of the why behind what you're doing, and it's not to the how. The how, you have a skill set and you're credentialed, and by the way, I want to talk about the difficulty of the fingerprinting, because you've made mention in our time together about it's not always so easy, and that you're very good at getting them done. But to come back, it's resonating and very obvious to me that we want to have diversity in what we're doing on a daily basis. We want to enjoy our professional life. We don't want to just do the same rote, boring thing over and over.
Sure.
We want to provide value to our clients. We want to make sure that, as we said, like if I needed your service, when was the last time I did such a thing? I have no idea. Can't remember. No clue, right? So I'm a layman, and I assume most of your clients are that. They might be professionals in whatever they do, but they have no idea about the process by which they need to follow to get this particular license, et cetera. So
often when we show up, people will look at us and go, I had no idea that there were people who would come to help us.
So it's not just the taking of the fingerprint or the notary piece. It's here's the steps that one must go through. And by the way, here's what's going to happen. And you probably should take the couple of, these mitigating steps to make sure you don't have a problem. Does that sound right?
It is, and managing expectations for them, having them understand that is really important.
Yeah.
Because they feel more comfortable when they leave, because they don't know how long that's going to take to process. They have
Nor is some
idea.
agency going to tell them, right? There might be a line item on the website that says, it takes 6 to 8 weeks, but then you can speak to the reality of what's actually happening.
We manage those expectations.
We've had
and
returns.
we're very clear with them.
Yeah, we've had returns in 4 days and have returns in 4 weeks. But the more exotic your travel background and the more expansive your exposure to the world, you can understand that there are some names that are very common. There may be 100 million of people by that same name. So one of the questions that we ask, and Deborah always gives me that look, place of birth. We have to provide that. Because in a common name, if you were born in Singapore and that was your name, that's pretty much going to make the background check a whole lot easier than it is if you say, well, I was born in New York City.
Yep.
So she's done an incredible amount of information gathering to be able to say to a person, this is what we might encounter, this is what we may not encounter. Time of year, during the holiday time, things move a little bit slower. For the processing agencies. For people, they're going, oh my gosh, it's near the end of the year, or I have 3 days until my license expires.
There's I forget. It's a great point. The urgency scenarios.
Yeah,
Which,
oh,
my
absolutely.
God, I forgot to do this. I didn't think
We
about
do
that.
get
Yeah.
that. And it's, what we do when you really think about it is we're really kind of intrusive. We're invading their space, whatever it is, even if we meet them at a Starbucks, for a process that you're going to have to touch that person and get very close to them. And that is a little disturbing to some people.
Yeah.
And you're getting sensitive information, et cetera,
you're
I
getting
presume, date of birth,
exactly.
social, things like that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have to go through this whole gathering process. So some people get very anxious with that. So having to work with them so that they feel more comfortable through this and we can make that process run smoothly for them and for us is very important to us.
There are certain cultures that are not comfortable with, say, a man holding a man's hand,
Yeah. Or vice versa.
or vice versa.
Or man and woman. Yeah, for
So
sure.
we'll always say to the lady or the fellow, "Are you comfortable?" Because we want to be convenient. We want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Convenient, we show up. Comfort, it's up to you
Yeah.
and us. And I said, and they kind of give me that look, and you feel people just immediately. And so I'll say, let's qualify this. As comfortable as you can be with an old man holding your hands. Are you comfortable? And usually they'll go, oh, yeah, sure. Okay,
Of course,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, I get it.
Could you do me a favor? Speak to the. You've made several reference to the getting the fingerprint. Can you just explain that, please, so that I understand the point and the issue surrounding that?
Well, there's so many issues that are requirements by the agencies. Our fingerprints go from us in two fashions. Either the old ink and paper method, because in order for us to submit over state lines, there's only one state in the United States that will take a digital live scan submission across state lines. They'll accept. Or we digitally take the prints, they go to the Nevada Department of Public Safety that day. From them, it goes to the FBI. They do the profiling there. And we know there's not somebody there with a set of, with a magnifying glass. It's all done.
Goes into some
Electronic.
database
Electronic,
checks,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then they return it to whatever agency the person is submitting to.
I see.
Now, I think what you might be thinking about is the actual condition
Correct.
of gathering them.
Correct.
Well, it can be a 3-minute process, or it can be a 15-minute process. You're amazing as a human being because you do everything with your hands, and that means that you're always stressing your hands. And something as simple as that people don't realize is when you grab something, you grab like this. You put more wear on these two fingers because you grip.
Didn't know that.
How do you hold a golf club? Grip that down like
And
that.
we love our people who go to the gym.
And the people who go to the gym, they'll be gripping something and you can just feel their hands and you know what they do. But the biggest issue is just in general, is as you go through life, and you were talking about aging, is your skin begins to thin. It's just a natural process. So you're going to, just over the years, that's going to be the natural impact on it. But in between that time, what do you do for a living? Are you a bricklayer? Are you a medical provider?
Are you a chef?
Are you a
my
chef?
God.
Burning the hands, right?
Well, the
do
burning,
you-
the cutting, the
cutting,
scabs,
yeah.
So
scars.
So
Yeah.
you have the impact of washing your hands 50 times a day, putting gloves on and off, putting sanitizer on your hands. It just eats away at the ridges that are on your fingers. So in that process, that's where we have to be better. We have to have a process where we can, kind of gauge that. The moment you touch their hand, you ask them, different questions in the process So you're a little prepared on what we're going to have to do to make this apply.
Remember that there are natural conditions that affect it as well. We do have people who've had psoriasis, who've had skin conditions. We have had several people who have hypohidrosis, which is the hands sweat all the time. The lady standing there just talking to me, and the water,
Wow.
the perspiration is coming off their hands. That's a challenge. So we use a desiccant. We use something that will immediately dry it, stop it momentarily, and then
Yeah.
go immediately to the
We
print.
can have them hold an ice pack or a cold Coke can, and then,
You've got
like
your
you said,
your ways of fixing.
absolutely.
I see.
Well,
That's
we've
so
had to come up with
interesting.
a lot of workarounds.
Yeah, sure.
And-
Well, you learn from it. I presume that if it's not done well, there's it's kicked back and you have to
It
do it
is.
again.
It
Which
is.
is an inconvenience to you, to the bottom line, to the client, obviously.
And to be, well, not to be modest, but our percentage of returns, and there's two aspects to that. If we surpass a certain percentage of returns, the state can come back and take our license.
I see.
How many returns have we had out of the thousands?
Wow. 2.
Yeah. Now, it's so interesting because one of the first people we did was a fellow who had gone on vacation and been bitten, and it caused Lyme disease,
Wow.
and his hands were like this
Wow.
permanently. So when I walk into somebody's house with Deborah and somebody says, "Good luck,"
And this is one of the first.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he had I think we were doing 4 people, and he had us do the rest. And it came to him, and he was down like this,
Wow,
and we
wow.
did it like that, and he was neurologically, affected by that disease.
Wow.
But we had amputees, and not long ago we did a young fellow who was a rodeo rider, bull rider, wasn't
He
he?
was a bull rider, so
And his
go
hands
back
were-
to the damaged fingers.
Very damaged.
Very damaged. Yeah.
Wow. I'm telling you, there's a whole, show that could be from the life of what you're seeing on a daily basis. It's very interesting.
It is,
Yeah.
and that's why we really enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
And even after several years, we still learn more from our clients
course.
every day.
Of course.
And different scenarios and how we're going to respond to that and help them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. That's what we do.
Yeah.
It was fun one day. We went on a call. This guy's very prominent, very well known, but he's 89 years old.
Okay.
At 89, as Deborah just explained, your prints become less discernible because the skin will thin. And he's one of these guys you see the old idea of buy sell, phones, things ringing. He's from one meeting immediately to the next.
Uh-huh.
And we're sitting in the C-suite, and I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Okay, just a second." So he's running over, and his admin was just a peach, and she's going, "He'll be right here. He'll be right here. Just we set up in the conference room." So we go in the conference room, and he comes running in. Hi. What do you do? What do I need to do? Where do I need to sit? I said, "Just sit down." So he sits down, and of course he's looking around like, I gotta go. So I take it out. I explain the process. He goes, I've done it before. I said, okay. How'd that work out? He goes, well, a couple of them had to do it over again. I said, well, one time. It's a one-time show. That's it. So we're doing it. And so I stop, and I'm holding his hand, and I went like that. I said, you ever play baseball? He goes, what? I said, you ever play sports? You got a baseball player's hand, a big, And he says, yeah, when I was a kid, of course, I said, well, where were you? And he said, somewhere in the Midwest, I guess. I think it was Kansas, wasn't it? Someplace. I said, did you ever think when you were fielding those grounders and hitting those balls that you end up in Las Vegas as a multi-billionaire? And he goes, no, matter of fact. I said, well, you still active? Not as much as I'd like. In 30 seconds, he's sitting there.
Relaxed.
And I just watched it just all drain.
Yes.
And his admin's in the door to the conference room tapping her toe because there's somebody on the line waiting. And he goes, we chatted for 10, 15, 20 minutes probably. And he just relaxed, and it was great, and we got his prints. And he wasn't a bricklayer either.
Yeah.
So he had prints first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Is there anything that comes to mind that you would want your prospective clients to know that we haven't touched today? Besides the new domain name.
Well, we're their biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We're there to support them all the time. And it's, it is funny because when Mike said I was fingerprinting with this hand and clipping dog nails with this hand, that is a true story.
Yeah.
So we go into their circumstances. We have to be successful in their circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes it all work.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is people will ask us for stories, and we don't share stories about any particular clients. We just don't do that. But they'll also ask us just general life questions.
Mm.
We're there in one guy's house one day, and he goes, "You're an old man." I said, "Well, there's a good start." Immediately. He goes, "Why do you walk so straight?" So my father was a Marine. He told me, "Be proud of who you are." And he kind of shook his head like, I don't know how proud he was of what I was, but be proud of who you are. Stand up, take pride in yourself, present yourself. And he goes, "Why are my kids all bent over? They walk like this." And I said, "Because I didn't have a backpack
Full
when
of
I was
books.
growing up. We carried those books."
Yeah.
And you watch all the kids walking along, and it's naturally what they do. It's kind of like they're walking into the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "I just never thought about that. We never had those kinds of things, And I said, "Well, it's a totally different world, and you know it, but you're 50, and I really know it." So we, in our business, get to engage in the changes, in the children, in the parents, in the struggles. They ask us questions. "Well, did you ever have one of your children do this?" He didn't get caught. Why did yours? And he would just, they would just ask questions. Ladies ask a lot of questions as well. Everything from fashion to, to what's it like to own your own business? What's it like? And she came from a corporate background. She retired from corporate, and I retired from law enforcement. So we met on the job. She built emergency response systems for communications, and satellite, and all of that. And I was on the other side of the spectrum, doing parole, probation, corrections, teaching in police academies, those kinds of things. So we just kind of met by mistake.
No coincidence in life, right?
Right.
Look, it's very obvious that the two of you love what you do. Very obvious that it extends far beyond taking of a print, taking of whatever that service might be.
Yeah.
And what can I say? Anyone that would listen to this, I presume, would agree. And they should visit fingerprinting.vegas in order
right.
to see more about you, book you directly from there,
Yes.
etc. I learned a lot from both of you. I really appreciate you spending the time.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Appreciate you cutting us short. Because you would be here a long time. just with the questions.
No, it was great.
And the stories.
I think it's a fantastic overview.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good.